Hello everyone. Today we will learn how to integrate Spring Boot 3 Spring Security with KeyCloak. Okay. So first we install KeyCloak, then we define Spring Boot version, then we define its KeyCloak integration, and then we create some Java file and test the application. Okay. Okay. So we can install KeyCloak either using exe file or Docker. We will be using Docker today. Okay. So this is our Docker compose file. Okay. First, I created a Docker file that is for another purpose, but important thing is Docker compose at the moment. Okay, so here I'm getting the image. I'm setting configuration like username, password, host, and we are restricting. We're making it strict. So we can easily access our application using localhost. Okay, that's what I specified here. Okay, now I'm doing port forwarding 8080, and this will be the entry point. Okay, this will start. This is only for testing purpose. Okay, for production purpose, we might need something else. Okay, so this is my Docker Compose file, and now I show you application.properties file. Here I specified the port number on which this application will run, Spring Boot application will run. This is the name of application, Spring Boot 3 and KeyCloak. And yeah, I did some configuration for KeyCloak also. So for example, issuer URI. So this is the host name, port, realms. This will be the realm. Okay, here is specified client name, client ID. This is a secret which I just used before starting this video. Okay, so I will certainly update it with the new secret. Okay, this is the scope of this client registration. Okay, and this is the authorization grant authorization code. Okay, so first I start the container, Docker container. I mean, okay. So I already stop all running containers. Now I start container in detached mode. Okay, so hopefully my containers are started. Okay, now I enter credentials, username and password. Okay, so yeah, so first I create a rel. Okay, so as I mentioned that my rel name is food ordering rel. Okay, and I created rel. Okay, now I create client. Enable client authentication. Then I enable direct access grant. Okay, and then specified valid redirect URI. Okay, so once I configured all these things, then I start my Spring Boot application and I try to access this resource. So when I try to access this resource, I'll be forwarded to another realm URL that I will show you. Okay, and once I enter correct username and password, then I'll be forwarded to this URL. Okay, yeah. So now I have added client credentials. I don't need to add, it is automatically generated. So I'll just copy and paste it into my Spring Boot application. Okay. And then I will create users here. So I just put some name. Okay. And here I have to create credentials. Okay, I disable temporary and password is saved. Okay. Okay, so now I start my Spring Boot application and let's see. Okay, application is started and now I can access localhost 8081. Okay, because I'm running this application locally, so my host name will be localhost. Okay, okay, so now I entered localhost 8081 and I press entered and I am forwarded to realm URL. Realm URL means this thing. Okay, and how I am getting it, I'll show you at just wait a moment. Okay, so this is the reason. Okay, so moment I entered localhost 8081, it will be forwarded to this URI, and then I have to enter username and password. And if my credentials are correct, then I'll be forwarded to the page I'm looking for. And if it is not correct, then I will not be forwarded to the page I'm looking for. Okay, so I entered localhost 8081 and I was forwarded to this URL. How? Let's break down URL. Okay, so this localhost 8080 is KeyCloak server base URL. Okay, and realm food ordering realm. This is realm in KeyCloak. I am authenticating against. Okay. Protocol slash OpenID Connect specifies the use of OIDC protocol. And auth is for authorization endpoint where login flow begins. How I am forwarded to it? How? Okay. So you are automatically redirected. It is this work is done by Spring Security. Okay, so when I am trying to access a resource, I'm not authenticated, then I'll be forwarded to this URL. So okay, this is basic explanation of how things are working behind the scene, but my objective is to just know how I am forwarded to it, and this is the answer to it. Okay, so I'll not go too much in detail because this is not the purpose of this video. Okay, so so after finding out the reason why I'm forwarded to this page, first let's enter username and password and see whether I'll be forwarded to the requested resource or not. Okay, so first I enter incorrect username and password. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm not forwarded it to it, and I'm getting message invalid username and password. So let's enter correct username and password. Oh, I made one mistake. Okay, so yeah, I made a mistake that above URL was not correct. Now it is correct. So I enter incorrect username and password again, and I'm not forwarded. Now I enter correct username and password, and I'm forwarded. So yeah, this task is done, and this is just basic demo how we can integrate a Spring Boot, Spring Security, and KeyCloak. And in next video, I will show you how can we use pre-configured JSON file, uh, pre-configured KeyCloak JSON file. Okay, pre-configured KeyCloak JSON file will allow me to not configure realm, client, and username. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video, and I wish you a nice day.